Hi, international career seekers. How's everyone doing? So, in case we don't know each other, I'm Dahlia and I help professionals to land international careers. So, to design the lifestyle and the career that they want in the place and the location that they want, and to deliver missions to the world. So they can do something that has purpose and do work that they love and where they can grow. And so today I'm coming to you from Mexico, and I've been hearing from some of you since I got here saying, now you're traveling again, because I was in Asia sort of a month ago, and people are telling me, how come you're traveling so much? How do you do it? You're so lucky, that kind of thing. And so I wanted to talk to you today because I know a lot of you are asking me, how can I travel? And a lot of people are kind of asking me, what is the secret? How can I get to travel so much? So I want to really explain to you how to do that so that you stop asking people how to travel and you start doing it yourselves. So I started really traveling about 10 years ago approximately, and when I started doing it, it was during my studies. I went on exchange, and already then people were starting to ask me, how do you get to travel? You're so lucky going on exchange, etc. And then after that, a couple of years later, I started the travel blog because I continued traveling when I entered the job market. And then when I had my travel blog, I had a lot of videos I was posting to YouTube and stuff like that. And then I had even more people, this time strangers, asking me, how do you get to travel to so many places? You're so lucky, etc., etc. And that's where eventually, one of the reasons I started my Accelerate Your Ambitions program was to show people how they can do that themselves so that they stop just asking other people how they can do it, so they can actually get that method for their own lives. Because I am no luckier than anyone else. All of the traveling I've done, I followed a process to allow myself to do it. So the thing is, when someone comes and they ask me, how do you get to travel? Generally, they're looking for a sort of one-sentence answer, some kind of a magic bullet, something that's like almost like a get rich quick, quit your job and travel kind of a thing. Like, you can tell people are just asking for. They think that you're just going to give them some way, like some secret that allows you to travel, and that they're going to be able to replicate that and do it too. And obviously, it's not like that. It's not that I was born with some, lots of money in the bank that just allows me to travel around. It's not that I just got really lucky and fell into a career that allows me to do this. Like, everything was planned, and there are real steps you need to take to make this happen for yourself. But the thing is that really the secret to being able to travel is to choose it. And for me, I mean, people are always saying, you're so lucky, it must be so amazing to be able to travel. And the truth is, it is amazing. Like, it is the most incredible thing. I can't even imagine my life without travel. It's like I wouldn't even be the same person. I would be completely a different person, because I wouldn't have met the same people, I wouldn't have had the same influences, I wouldn't have grown as much as I've grown, I wouldn't have gotten out of my comfort zone in the same way, I wouldn't have done the same type of work that, just working and living in different places. It totally changes you in a good way. And so for me, it's like I can't even begin to explain to anyone how amazing that is. And not to say that anyone has to do the same thing as me, right? But I can tell a lot of people asking me about this, they know that they want to do something similar. Maybe not the exact same types of travels, but they know that they would like to have some component of that. They want to be able to either travel around for work and get sent to different places, or they want to be able to work remotely and just have that flexibility to go wherever they want, or just have more time off to actually be able to go places, more than that 2 weeks a year, whatever it is that a lot of people are getting. And so a lot of people want that, but then they feel like they have to tell themselves they don't actually want that because it's either not realistic or just because it's not possible for them, and whatever it is. And I've been told all that stuff as well. Like, many times I wanted to go abroad, whether it was studying abroad, whether it was working abroad, whether it was just traveling on my own, I got told every single time, that is not possible for you due to, and there are always all these reasons that I couldn't do it. I was studying the wrong thing. It wasn't possible with my credits to be able to make that exchange happen. I was still too young to start traveling within the workplace, right? I had to sort of do my time before I got to travel, or I was still too new and inexperienced to be able to ask to work remotely. I have been told all of that stuff, and it was all false, I can tell you. And so whatever circumstances you are up against, I am sure, I don't know you, I don't know your specific circumstances necessarily, but I am sure that they are not real reasons why you're not able to travel. I remember when I was going on my first exchange, someone told me, as usual, wow, you're so lucky, you get to go spend a year in Spain, you're so lucky. And I said, well, actually, you could do the exact same exchange because we go to the same university. They actually need more people to go on it because nobody wants to go to Spain, because nobody wants to have to take their classes in Spanish, etc. And I said, and there are plenty of more exchanges. If you want to do a different one, just go to the exchange office. And then it was like, he was realizing I was telling him to take action, right? And I remember this guy I was studying with kind of went, oh no, but for me, I can't do it. Like, you're lucky, you can do it, but I can't do it because I can't afford it. I can't afford an exchange. And I told him, actually, I'm saving a lot of money by going on exchange because the tuition in Spain is way cheaper than it is in Canada, and I'm going to be saving a lot on tuition. And there are even cheaper exchanges where you can literally spend like $300 for your semester and you can save a ton of money. And guess what he did then? Instead of getting excited and running to the exchange office, as I assumed he would do, he just went, oh, okay, yeah, well, maybe. And do you think he went on exchange? No. And ever since then, I have faced this situation so many times. And it just shows it's not all of these kinds of circumstances that are stopping you. It is the decision to make it happen for you, to decide that you deserve to have these things in your life if that's what you want, to decide to stop telling other people they're lucky, or scrolling through Instagram and seeing people traveling and going, oh, wouldn't that be nice? These people must have trust funds or something like that, and just making those kinds of stories up, and the kinds of stories saying that you can't do it, saying, well, I'm too broke, well, I don't have enough experience, well, I'd better do 2 years in this role before I start doing that kind of thing. Well, there's so many different excuses people have. If you want to travel, let me know what's stopping you right now. Type it in the comments and let's see if it's a real circumstance that should not allow you to travel. Let's see. Anyway, so people have lots of excuses not to do it. And ultimately, the one thing that's going to allow you to travel more is to decide. Decide it's important to you. Decide it's something you really do want to have more of in your life. And then once you've made that decision, then we can start figuring out how exactly you're going to do it. But that how is not going to be a one-line answer of, oh, here's how I did it, and so you're going to be able to do that too. There are lots of methods to be able to live and work and travel, and I have pretty much tried them all. I've done you can take your current job and work remotely doing that same job. I've done that. You can just go freelance and take on different clients. I've tried that as well. You can just ask for more vacation, negotiate more time off. Mr. Yapton Che, hi, so nice to see you. Mr. Yapton Che was my teacher in grade 5, yeah. And he is still my favorite teacher ever from my life. So it's nice to see him here. Yeah, so what else can you do? You can work remotely with your current job. You can go freelance. You can obviously start a business. You can, there's so many things you can do and ways that you can create an international lifestyle and create a lifestyle of travel. However, none of those ways is going to be easy. And so there's no magic bullet. I can't just tell you how I did it and all of a sudden you're going to be doing it. It takes me 8 weeks to bring my clients through a process to figure out these things. So just by asking me, how did you do it? I'm not going to be able to give you that answer just like that in one sentence. It's going to be a process, and that process has to be applied to you. And that's why when you're Googling and going on YouTube and watching seminars and that kind of stuff, that's all information. Those are all examples of what other people have done, but you need to find the method that really works for you, because your life is different from everyone else's. You have unique skills which are different from everyone else's, and so you need to take that process and apply it to your own life. And it's going to be hard, I'm telling you. It's going to be simple if you follow a process. So most people are in this, who want to travel more, they're in this state of constant confusion where they have a lot of different ideas and they see other people doing it. Maybe you're following some bloggers and stuff like that. And so you're always getting exposed to these different examples, and some of them are inspiring you. But on the other hand, you're not sure if it'll work for your own life. And there are certain things in your life that you don't want to give up. Like maybe you have a really stable job, a stable income. Maybe you have a really strong circle of friends where you are. And so you're afraid of giving all that up. You're assuming you have to give all that up if you travel, which is not the case, right? It's definitely a myth that you have to, if you want to travel more, you have to just quit your job and lose out on income and then you can be a hippie and travel around the world. No, there's definitely a way, a lot of really good ways to maintain an income, if not increase an income, and continue to travel. And but you do need to follow a process, and you need to really take a strong approach to figure out how that's going to work for you and your own life, so that you don't have to give up anything. And it really works. That's how, you know, my client Sarah, she's British. She moved from London to Hong Kong. She lived in Hong Kong for a year. She got to explore all kinds of places in Asia. She loved it so much. Now she's going on her second year. So we worked together again so that she could actually stay there, and so that she could, you know, get a new job that allowed her to have a visa and stay working in Hong Kong, continue traveling. She went to Cambodia, she went to Taiwan, she went to Vietnam, she went to, I don't know, lots of places in Asia. She was having a great time. She had a great community in Hong Kong. You know, she was just living that international lifestyle that she dreamed of. And so it's not just a dream, it can really happen. But sometimes that lifestyle is more about being able to stay where you are. Like my client Amy, she actually wanted to be able to work remotely so that she could stay in her hometown, because there were not so many jobs in her hometown, and she wanted to be able to have her own home office and be able to stay there instead of having to relocate. So that is also an option, right? But if she wants to travel somewhere, she can, because she's working as a freelancer and she has that flexibility, which is amazing. Who else? There are so many examples of this, but every single time, you know, telling you exactly how they made that happen for them isn't going to help you, because it's really about you and your path and what's going to work for you. And the only way you can make that happen is by first deciding that travel is something you want in your life. You're sick and tired of looking at other people traveling and you're not traveling as much as you want, and there are all these things you want to do. Even if you get some vacation and you're going to some places, but you're realizing there's a lot more you want to do in your life. And it's actually a scary thing. If you calculate with your current amount of holidays, if you calculate how many holidays you have left in your life, you're going to realize that if you stay with that amount of holidays, you only have a certain amount of time. So for most people, I forget what the calculation is, but for most people, you're going to realize like you have very little time to see the world. And you might have this big bucket list of all these places you think you're going to see eventually. But if you calculate, I challenge you to do that right now and put it in the comments once you've calculated it. With your current amount of holiday, or with the current amount of traveling that you're able to do, how many places are you really going to be able to see all the places you wanted to see? So how much time at your current rate of holidaying or vacationing, let's say, at that rate, how much time do you have total in the rest of your lifetime? You know, approximately. Thinking about how long you're going to live, or until kind of the age where you can still be healthy and be able to travel, how much time do you have left? And for most people, you're going to realize that it's a very limited amount of time, and there's no way you're going to see all the places that are on your bucket list. And you probably think, oh, I have my whole life, I'll get there eventually. But when you do this calculation, you realize there's no way you're going to make it. And you know, that's like, think about it. When you're at the end of your life, what do you want to have done? And realize that you're not going to start doing those things until you decide to do them. They're not just going to happen on their own. And so the first step is committing to making all of this a reality in your own life. And after that, we figure out the process. You know, then you're in a space to dedicate yourself to the process of making all of that work for you. So if you guys are ready to make that decision, like if you're really ready to start crafting that, and this is often referred to as lifestyle design, right? So designing life on your terms, not just taking the terms of whatever job is given to you and trying to force yourself to be happy with it, or justify that, okay, maybe 2 weeks off is pretty good, or 1 month off, or I'm a teacher, I get 2 months off, I guess that's pretty good, right? Really deciding, starting from a place of what do I want, and then from there, I'll figure out how to make that happen. And that's where it really pays to work with someone who can show you that process and show you what are going to be the best methods that work for you, and to walk you through that, because you're going to be able to reduce that trial and errors. So, you know, that's where people quit their jobs and decide they're just going to travel, and then they realize they make no money and they have to go back to the corporate world anyway. When sometimes you didn't even have to leave the corporate world in the first place to be able to travel. So it's going to help you really avoid making those mistakes from someone who's done it before and done it with other people. And it's also going to help you get there faster. So, you know, instead of taking maybe years to craft this lifestyle, you're going to be able to craft that lifestyle within probably a couple of months, if not less. So, if you're ready to do that, if you're really ready to make these kinds of experiences happen in your life, then book a call with me and my team. The link for that is accelerateyourambitions.com/apply, and then you're going to have a short questionnaire to fill out so that we can get ready for the session. And after that, you're going to be jumping on a call at the time slot that you chose, and we are going to discuss what obstacles you're facing. So if you're not sure if whether or not, you know, the program is for you, you're not sure if it's going to help you because you have all of those kind of constraints we talked about, well, on this call, we're going to look at those constraints, and we're going to see whether the process will be applied to your own life and whether it'll give you your outcome. So if you have any hesitations about that, if you're not sure if it's possible for you to travel more, you know, whatever it might be, maybe you think, well, I need to finish my degree first, or, well, maybe I need to start a family first, or, oh, there are so many things, I can't even list them all. Reasons why people don't start traveling now, or reasons why people don't start making their lifestyle what they want it to be right now. There's always a reason, always, always, always. I need to stay in my job another couple of years or couple of months because I need to finish this project, or I'm waiting for a promotion, or I don't know, there's so much stuff. Let me know what your constraints are, and then we'll discuss them. So book a call, we'll see if those constraints are actually stopping you, or if the process will help you to get where you want to go. Or if you are still too afraid even to book a call, then put it in the comments, put down what your constraints are and what you're worried about in the comments. Or, you know, if you don't want other people to see it, just send me a message and we'll talk about it. And for the rest of you, I'm looking forward, either me or a member of my team is really looking forward to discussing your life with you and seeing whether you are actually giving up on things that you could be doing right now. So if you're actually giving up on experiences right now due to those constraints, which are not real constraints, and if in fact, if you were to start right now, you would be able to beat all of those obstacles and get to a place where you're really, really happy with your lifestyle. Because I think every single day we make a lot of excuses about why we can't do certain things, and you know, all of my clients, they have had all of those constraints, I'm telling you. They've either been totally broke and in debt, or they have visa issues, or they have a great security blanket right now, and so they're afraid to give up that security blanket. And every single time they level up. Every single time making that decision to start now it turns out to be the best decision of their life. And generally, people wish they'd made that decision sooner, right? But once they do it, at least they did it then, but generally they wish they'd done that sooner so they could not miss out on those experiences that they would have had. So there you go. Let me know in the comments, what is the place that you most want to travel to and what is stopping you from going? Lovely talking to everyone and looking forward to your comments. Say hi if you can see me and if you've listened all the way through, and we'll speak soon. Take care, everyone.